Bctv local and national summary for Friday, September 26th. Heavy rains have triggered flooding in several communities on the outskirts of the Liberian capital, Monrovia. The Women's Voices newspaper is urging the Liberian government to go beyond legislation and dialogue with traditional leaders to end female genital mutilation. Experts are urging African policy makers to strengthen remittance systems and channel diaspora funds into long-term investments. Heavy rains on Wednesday triggered flooding in several communities on the outskirts of Monrovia, leaving homes submerged and residents stranded. Among the hardest hit areas are Logan Town, a disabled people community in Bartonsville, and Town, where rising waters entered homes, destroyed belongings, and forced families to seek shelter with neighbors and relatives. Eyewitnesses described the flooding as one of the worst in recent months, following hours of continuous downpour that overwhelmed drainage systems. Many residents are now appealing to the Liberian government and humanitarian agencies for immediate assistance. "We have lost everything to the floodwater. We need help with food, clothing, and safe shelter," one Logan Town resident told reporters. Community leaders quoted by Bctv correspondent have also warned of possible health risk if waterlogged areas are not quickly addressed, pointing to stagnant pools that could breed mosquitoes and cause waterborne diseases. The National Disaster Management Agency has yet to officially issue a response, but calls for swift intervention continue to mount as affected citizens and communities struggle to recover from the damage. The Press Union of Liberia has announced its 61st anniversary celebration set for Tuesday, September 30th in Monrovia, under the theme, "Commemorating Our Past, Constructing Our Future." The program begins with a parade from the University of Liberia's Capitol Hill campus to the union's new office on 9th Street in Sincor, followed by indoor ceremonies. ECOWAS Ambassador Josephine Nkrumah will serve as keynote speaker. This year's anniversary also launches fundraising for the construction of a permanent headquarters, the Stanton Peabody Media House. The University of Liberia's Golden Class of 2001 has pledged $10,000 to improve bathroom facilities at the Capitol Hill campus. The donation will fund polytanks and water equipment to ensure a steady water supply for the multi-bathroom complex between the Center for Population Studies and Tubman Hall. The University of Liberia President Dr. Lely Mapayan welcomed the gesture, calling it a model for alumni support. Led by Aboima Kamara, the Golden Class includes several prominent national figures and is also fundraising for a future e-library project, a press statement posted by the University of Liberia said. In more news, according to an editorial published by the Women's Voices newspaper, President Joseph Boakai pledge at the United Nations to permanently ban female genital mutilation, or FGM, could mark a historic turning point for women and girls in Liberia. The paper notes that despite previous moratoriums, the practice remains widespread in 11 of Liberia's 15 counties, with over 500 girls recently graduating from Bush schools in Lofa County in defiance of the ban. The editorial stresses that to succeed, the government must go beyond legislation, calling for dialogue with traditional leaders, alternative livelihoods for practitioners, and strong enforcement paired with education. While the president's commitment aligns with global agreements, the newspaper warns that without community engagement and practical solutions, the promise risks becoming symbolic rather than transformative, the editorial said. The Painesville City Corporation has shut down 2 bakeries in the Bassa Town red light community for serious health violations. According to the corporation's Environmental and Safety Department, the closure followed an inspection on September 24th that uncovered unsanitary conditions, including contaminated food storage, pest infestation, and poor sanitation practices by staff. Authorities say the move is intended to protect public health and warned that food safety laws will be strictly enforced. The affected bakeries will only be allowed to reopen once they meet health and safety standards. You're listening to the Bctv local and African news summary. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has renewed its solidarity with the Church and faithful across Africa. According to the Vatican News website, Bishop A. Elias Zedan, chairman of the Committee on International Justice and Peace, lamented the ongoing violence, mass killings, and forced displacements in countries such as Sudan, South Sudan, Nigeria, and the Congo. He highlighted the millions displaced by war, persecution, and hardship, and called for prayers and action to promote peace, justice, and security. The U.S. bishops also urged stronger humanitarian support from both the Catholic Church and the United States government. And finally, Business Insider Africa website reports that new data shows remittances from Africans abroad in 2024 surpassed export earnings in several countries, reshaping foreign income flows. According to RemitScope and ITC, nations such as the Gambia, Comoros, and Somalia rely more on diaspora inflows than on exports. The report notes that remittances are cushioning households against inflation and global price shocks, while experts are urging policymakers to strengthen remittance systems and challenge diaspora funds into long-term investments. The forecast for Friday, September 26 in Zwedru, Grand Jide County, southeastern Liberia: cloudy and occasional rain showers. High of 89 degrees, the winds will be light and variable, the chance of rain 60%. The currency exchange rate is 181 Liberian dollars to $1 United States dollar. To summarize, heavy rains have triggered flooding in several communities on the outskirts of the Liberian capital, Monrovia. The Women Voices newspaper is urging the Liberian government to go beyond legislation and dialogue with traditional leaders to end female genital mutilation. And experts are urging African policymakers to strengthen remittance systems and channel diaspora funds into long-term investments. That's the Bctv local and African news summary, up to the minute.